Well, after I spoke at a church recently, a woman from Greece came to me and said, the Greek New Testament word for hope is elpida, the expectation of what is sure, certain. A long road of broken trust made this treasure hard to embrace for my guest. But looking back now from a place of joy and confidence, Linda GREENE-DUPRE can see that the God of hope was there all the time. Right, Linda? Mm-hmm. Here from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, but raised in Newfoundland.
Yes.
The eldest of 6? No, you were in the middle.
I'm the middle child, yeah.
You are the middle child.
Yeah. With the girls.
With the girls.
This is 3 boys and 3 girls.
The girls came later.
Yeah.
And it's sweet to see that right at the beginning of your journey, there's a faith foundation in your family, thanks to Grandma. Tell us that story.
Well, my grandma, she was one special lady. Her first child, when she gave birth to her first child, was my dad. And he was born 2 pounds.
Wow.
And back in the day, your babies were born in your home. And so the doctors told her that he wasn't going to live through the night. But she wasn't going to stand for that, She.
What did she say?
She said, he will not die, he will live. And she put him in a bread pan and put cotton balls around him and actually wrapped him in a blanket and put him in there and put him on the oven door all night long.
Wow, like the Dion quintuplets, that's how they
Yeah.
dealt with those babies.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful woman of faith.
Yeah.
But sadly, a very conflicted childhood for you. Trust was breached on a lot of levels, and some deep resentment took root.
Yeah, I was always Dad's girl and, thought that our little family was, a good, loving family, and we were. Dad had a drinking problem, and
Parents divorced when you were
yeah,
13.
Yeah, she couldn't take it any longer. So
You lived
she
with
left.
Dad. The family split up.
Uh-huh.
You were pregnant at 15.
Yes. Yeah.
What did that do in your life?
Well, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, and I met this guy and thought, we're in love, and I got pregnant, and it was a shameful thing for me at that age, but yet I felt, I felt so much love for that baby inside of me, and
When that baby was 2, you married the father.
I did.
And certainly there were some good times, but there just seemed to be a growing issue with abuse, alcohol, and even drugs.
Yeah.
You say, we needed God, but I didn't know how to find him.
Yeah. Growing up in a Catholic church, I just I didn't know that Jesus was real, actually. Thought it was a fairy tale, and, didn't have a relationship with him until my later years. And
But God
yeah.
kept sending his messengers. It's really spoke to me, your story, about being willing to just be that person. One of them is Wanda. Wanda lived next door.
Yeah.
And she came to the rescue many times.
She did.
In that very tumultuous chapter of your life.
Yeah, she was my lifesaver. She's still today my very best friend, and she's just been there to pull me out of hard situations.
Prayed for you when you prayed with a knife to your throat. That was the end, really, the final straw.
Yeah.
In that first marriage.
Yeah.
3 years on your own with 2 children, and now you married again, and they say blended families don't blend. That really was the issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It was a hard time for my kids and for all of us, actually. It was a tough time.
So you've had physical abuse in the first marriage. The second marriage represented verbal and emotional abuse. I want to mention Betty.
Yeah.
Betty, God's agent, who came to pray with you.
Yes.
When
she
things
did.
were in
When I was,
distress.
I was bedridden for three weeks or more and couldn't walk. And Betty called me one evening and asked if she could come over and pray, bring her friend with her. And I said, of course, you know. So she came over and prayed with me, and my sister was there the same night, and I was healed. I got up and walked, and I gave my heart to the Lord that evening, and my sister did too. So it was an amazing evening, yeah.
A wonderful, wonderful moment.
Yes.
But not the end of trouble.
Nope.
In your journey. More to come. Don't go away. Fear-based living is a tragedy when we're born to live loved. Linda GREENE-DUPRE has discovered the difference and given her story a very appropriate title, A Rescued Journey. Your daughter Nicole encouraged you to write this book.
Yes, she did.
How wonderful. 2 failed marriages. We've done 2. You've had physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. And now you're part of a church family. You meet a man in the church. And how did that turn out?
It was another failure. You know, it was about religion with him and not a relationship. And I have a relationship with Jesus. And the religion control thing was going on.
Legalism.
Yeah, with him, and it was overwhelming.
So now spiritual abuse.
Yeah.
You know, I wore these 2 hearts today because I thought this book is a journey of bad connection and broken hearts. But you thankfully had Jesus now in your heart. He was the faithful one. And church family support. Thank God for that, because you really were suicidal for part of this chapter.
Yes, Linda. I was, yes. Well, you know, I just didn't know what I was doing, because, you know, when you have the Lord in your life, you're thinking, well, I'm still messing up. What's going on, you know? But, you know, it's a journey with God, and, you know, all the pain that's been inside of me, God's been healing it, you know, through all different circumstances, relationships.
And I should say, your children, you had 2 by your first husband, a boy, 7, daughter, 12, and now the girl, Nicole, the baby with a second husband, who encouraged you to write the book. You'd never lived alone. Even when you were married, you were living with, not just with your husband, but your dad for part of that.
Right.
So you were really vulnerable. A little bit of a sitting duck, feeling you needed someone in your life.
Yeah.
So what happened when this marriage ended?
Well, this marriage ended. I just really didn't know what to do, but I did have my church family. I was in a prayer group at the church. They prayed with me. I went through a lot of healing, and it was just, God has been there all along for me, you know.
And it was your sister who suggested a Christian dating site?
No, it was my friend.
Oh, it was a friend.
Yeah.
You weren't running to this.
No, I was like done with relationships, you know. Okay, you know, Lord, I think you might want me to just be by myself, I'm thinking. And so I didn't want to get into another relationship, but my friend told me about dating online, and I did not want to go there, but I did. And
you connected with a worship leader in California.
Yeah, 5,000 miles away from me.
You didn't see him for 2 years.
Yeah, we talked on the phone, and we were good friends for 2 years before I finally went to meet him.
You've been married 9 years.
Yeah.
And is this a different experience?
Totally different.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, you say in your book, without Christ, I would be a bitter, battered woman without purpose.
Because he heals your soul, you know, he heals your heart. He gives you that peace. No matter what you're going through, he'll give you that peace along the way. You might think you're all messed up, but you got that peace when you have him, you know?
You still have moments when you feel rejected, betrayed, that history that goes all the way back to your mother not being nurturing.
Yeah.
Really early. It still comes up to bite you, to intimidate and cause fear. How do you deal with that, Linda?
I just, you know, pray and get into the Word, you know, asking God to heal my heart and help me through this. You know, getting closer with God is the most important thing, you know.
You know, I think of the song, all I had to offer him was brokenness and strife, but he made something beautiful of my life.
Yes.
That's your story, Linda. That's my story, too.
Yeah.
And we can all have a rescue journey. It's never too late. Why not call our prayer lines right now? And, you know, the first beneficial thing, Linda was telling her story on Christian radio and discovering the healing power of just getting it out there. Face, feel, and deal with what you've been through. God already knows it all, and he can give you a new narrative, a brand new story. Why not call right now? Linda, God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay with us. More to come.